What you are about to see could not happen in the government of Canada.
I don't know what they were. I'm not an expert on that sort of thing. But I know when those people left, when they went back where they were, well, the deficit rose, didn't it? It rose astronomically, if you want to know the truth, especially on a current accounts basis.
The moon shone faintly through the smoke of the city. An occasional gunshot echoed through the filthy streets. Free trade talks continued. Cockroaches crawled across the windowsill. And there was a note in my French for us.
Good speech as usual, Hildegard.
Thank you, thank you.
But what happened to the other one there?
You mean the one about Americans smuggling Canadian softwood lumber out of our country disguised as pencil shavings?
That's it.
They won't let me make that one anymore.
Why not?
They say it depresses the tourists.
Who says?
The National Capital Commission.
Ah, what do they know about the entertainment business anyway, huh? Here.
Thanks. Catch you later, Henri.
Salut.
Small and Coke.
Uh-huh.
I got your communication.
Yeah. There you are, sir.
Thanks. So what do you want to see me about?
Well, my sources say you're going to get flayed today in Parliament.
Get flayed?
Mm-hmm. Flayed, yeah. You know, like they say in the newspapers, you know, the opposition flays Gov.
Who would flay the Department of Regional Incentive Targets?
Well, you know, that MP who went fact-finding to the south of France with his committee there, what's his name again? Cartier.
Cartier.
Maudit anglais.
That's the way he says it. Sorry.
Oh.
I was hoping he'd stay fact-finding till the escargot ran out.
Huh? Oh, the snails.
How do your sources know?
My sources have seen an advanced text.
I'm not certain that you have fully explained the function of the board in terms of its function, as it were.
Yes, I think we'd all like to hear more about it.
Exactement, Robert. Il faut faire la séparation des paramètres.
Well, I thought I'd covered that. But if not, I think it's fair to say that the purpose of the in-out board, or as I prefer to call it, the I.O. matrix, is to establish whether a person is in or out, as it were.
Wouldn't a person know that?
As I understand it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Hank, the I.O. matrix is for letting other people know if a person is in or out.
Well, yes, essentially, yes.
Well, the parameter seems sufficiently defined. Alors, si j'ai bien compris, n'est-ce pas, il s'agit essentiellement d'une matrice sans distinction. Pas vrai, Robert? Robert!
Oh, oui. Je pense que... un miroir au plafond. Je vois rien de mal dans ça. I'm sorry.
He says last night the late movie was rich in new vocabulary.
Après tout, on est des adultes, on n'est pas nés d'hier.
Good morning, class. Sorry I can't stay. I'll borrow someone's notes. Margaret, could I speak to you for a few minutes?
Certainly. Excuse me.
Will we all get a chance to try it out?
Infamous J.R. Bud Cartier's back.
I know. He keeps calling me up and asking me to lunch.
Why?
Oh, he says he wants me to defeat him.
He's about to take a run at us in the house.
On what basis?
I don't know.
What could he have learned about our department on the Riviera?
I thought he was just going to eat snails and smell of garlic. Maybe there's more to him than we thought.
Certainly hope not.
Let's see what kind of a tan he got.
Mr. Speaker, examples of government waste are legion. If the Prime Minister were in this House, which he isn't, even he would be forced to admit that the budget deficit has risen astronomically, especially on a current accounts basis. I have the evidence right here, which I will reveal in due course, concerning wastefulness in the Department of Drit, or Drite, or whatever they call it.
Do you think someone slipped him a brown envelope?
Afford such extravagance?
I think the question is whether there's anything in it.
Mr. Speaker, we will never get a grip on the deficit until we get a grip on government spending. The deficit doesn't come from Mars or Venus, you know. It comes from a spot on this planet known as Ottawa.
What do you think?
I think if you have lunch with him tomorrow, you can skip the morning meeting.
Can I skip the afternoon part of the morning meeting, too?
Yes, sir? Yes, sir.
The minister.
He agrees. You should skip the morning meeting.
This is quite romantic, isn't it?
Especially for lunch. I happened to catch your speech in the House yesterday, Mr. Cartier.
Oh, please call me Bud.
Bud.
Was it long enough? The speech?
Probably yes.
Hi, I'm Victor, your assistant waiter. Do you have any questions about the menu?
No questions. It seems fine. I think we're ready to order.
Oh, good.
While we're waiting, perhaps I could outline what I wanted to talk to you about.
Good.
Hi, I'm Vince, your assistant wine steward. Have you decided on your wine yet?
Oh, yes. I think that we're going to
That's fine. The deputy assistant wine steward will be along in a jiff.
Margaret, I know that my speech must have sounded a little harsh.
Sure, you have very good documentation.
Well, I always have good documentation.
Hi, I'm Vern, your assistant head waiter, and you are?
Margaret, delighted to make your acquaintance.
Jack, pleased to meet you.
Is everything fine?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think we're ready to order.
Good. Enjoy your meal.
Service is very good, isn't it?
Certainly is a lot of it.
A wise guy was gunning for me, but even wise guys make mistakes. They can't hide on the back benches forever. There had to be a clue somewhere.
Meet my operative at the canal across from the conference center. 1300 hours.
I found out what I could about Cartier.
Well, what do your friends on the Hill say?
They say he's obsessed with downsizing.
Meaning?
What do you think? Meaning he's having his suits taken in.
That's funny, Faye.
I thought so. Anyway, they say that since he's become vice chairman of that parliamentary committee, he thinks more about budget cutting than skirt chasing.
That's not encouraging.
It is if you're a skirt. What's that?
Oh, it's a position paper, Faye.
Looks greasy.
Yeah, the department's going downhill these days. You see more and more greasy position papers.
Mom, Dad.
Margaret, there's more to this than my hatred of the deficit.
No matter how intense that is.
I have my sights set on a higher position.
Ambassador to France?
Yeah, no, the Auditor General.
Pardon me, are you through with those?
Yes, certainly.
Thank you.
But why?
I don't know.
Oh, the Auditor General. He's an authentic Canadian hero, mate. He defends the taxpayer and safeguards the nation's fiscal integrity, roots out waste.
My uncle had a hog like that.
Well, there you go. He adds the columns of figures and searches out irregularities.
It's massive news coverage.
Well, only once a year.
Bud, you're an opposition MP. How are you going to get this job?
It all starts with my big revelation about your department.
What revelation?
Well, there's... Yeah, no, I'm not at liberty to say right now.
DRIT is one of the best-run departments in Ottawa.
I'm sure it is, Margaret. It's just that certain information has come my way which casts doubt on your, shall we say, departmental procedures.
Excuse me. Check, please.
It was that kind of town. The guy got over on the wrong side of the tracks, and he could never tell what would eventuate.
Sit down, you make me nervous.
I beg your pardon?
I said, sit down, you make me nervous.
What's that?
What's what? It's a password, for goodness sake. Henri said to give you a password.
Oh, I didn't get one. Maybe it got grease on it. So, Henri sent you?
Right. I'm Hildegard.
Never mind who I am. We never had this conversation.
Good. I love conversations like that we're not having.
Sorry, I'm a little late.
It's okay. I'll begin. On day one, he, that is the subject, came out of his apartment building at 8:08. Put it to 9 anyway. And proceeded on foot directly to the west block of the Parliament buildings.
What are you talking about?
The subject, Cartier.
Cartier?
Right. You wanted to know what he's got, didn't you?
Look, this is highly irregular, but since we're not having this conversation, what is it?
The subject remained in the west block of the Parliament buildings until 011. On 2300, almost midnight.
Look, all I really need to know...
Day 2. Everything was more or less the same, except...
Except?
You met someone at the Centennial Flame.
Yes.
You know how you have to shout to be heard over the gas?
Right.
I could hear every word.
And?
He was talking about the DDA. The what? The Dominion Derationing Agency. My ex-husband used to work for it.
Oh, you mean after the war?
No, a couple of years ago.
I thought the DDA was abolished right after the war. Anyway, what's this got to do with my department?
Lots. The DDA is under DRIT. Of course, DRIT was Drew when Cyril worked there.
Cyril?
My ex.
Oh.
Ran away with his secretary, the swine.
And you heard this from Cartier?
Cyril sent a postcard from Phoenix.
No, I mean about the DDA being part of DRIT.
That's right.
Imagine an agency to get rid of rationing still alive after 40 years.
It's not the kind of information you'd want to have fall into the wrong hands, is it?
Then he went into the part about wanting me by his side when he becomes first Auditor General to be chosen from outside the accounting profession.
And?
And I went into the part about what was his wife's name again?
Auditor General, so that's his game. It was all becoming clear to me now. Just being second banana wasn't enough for him. He wanted the whole. Banana.
What?
Nothing.
What worries me is what will happen to us when he makes this big revelation. If he has one.
Oh, he has one.
Is it really big?
Well, look at it this way. What would you do if you wanted to become Auditor General and you found a government agency which hadn't done anything for 40 years?
I'd knock it out of the park.
What?
Baseball. Sorry.
Try to concentrate.
Right. So there really is this agency.
Right. The Dominion Derationing Agency, DDA for short. Nice little budget, too, if you know where to look for it, and Cartier does. So he's going to be a hero, and our department's going to be one of those little horror stories in the paper.
Meanwhile?
Meanwhile, Cartier in one of his many interviews, lets it slip that he'd love to serve his country further by becoming Auditor General.
Rooting out waste.
What?
Nothing. When did we get this agency?
A few years ago now. Apparently my predecessor got a bit confused during a rationalization or a consolidation, I forget which. Anyway, next time he looked, he had a de-rationing agency in his department.
Except he never looked.
Right. Yes? Yes?
They're still waiting for you in the meeting. It's been 4 hours.
Well, tell him I might be a little late, and get me the minister, please. He may not like this.
Excuse me. I think I'll go change into something a bit more Drit-like.
I think it'd be productive to point out some of the possible pitfalls of the I.O. matrix, particularly with regard to underutilization.
Matrix. Ça, c'est une idée typiquement canadienne-anglaise, ça, évidemment. Hein, Robert? Robert?
Huh? Sure. Tu peux te changer et mettre ton maillot de bain ici. Je vais tourner la tête. If one does not move the button from the out position to the in position when one is in, and one does not move the button from the in position to the out position when one is out, all hell can break loose.
I don't understand how a person can move a button from the in position to the out position if a person is out. I mean, if they are out, it seems rather difficult, if not impossible.
It's a bit late to discuss the philosophy of the thing. Perhaps you and Mr. Watt could discuss that point privately.
On a practical matter, I would like to remind the group that the whole system breaks down if people bring in their own magnets for the board. One can't have bananas and strawberries and whatnot on the matrix.
I would like to point out that they are not bananas and strawberries. They are magnetic representations of bananas and strawberries.
Of course. Real ones wouldn't stick to the board.
That may be true, however, that's not the point.
Carry on. I think you're getting close to nailing this one down. Good work.
Now, let's have another practical demonstration.
How bad is this going to be?
Well, our chair will demand to know on behalf of the taxpayers of Canada why the DDA is still around. How could the government allow this outrage to continue?
What does the minister reply?
I say.
Messages.
Well, the minister's got several options. Administrative oversight is a traditional one.
Well, how about blaming it on a previous government?
Well, that's often good. The agency got lost in the computer. That's promising, too, particularly because it's more or less true.
Which option do you think the minister would choose?
Well, if the minister takes my advice, he'll thank the honorable member for his question and be pleased to inform him that the DDA has been eliminated at a considerable saving to the taxpayer.
That sounds like taking it on the chin.
Oh, I know that. The minister knows that, but sometimes you have to take it on the ear. Or wherever.
A supplementary for the Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker? Even though he isn't here, Mr. Speaker. And I want to ask the Prime Minister, or whoever can answer for the Prime Minister, who is never here, why he is never here.
Here. Order. The Honourable Member for Wapiti East Locust. Mr. Speaker, my question is for the Honourable Minister of Regional Incentive Targets. Given the need that all loyal Canadians feel to reduce the deficit which is crippling our nation, is the minister aware that an agency which was established to regulate the end of rationing after the Second World War is still in existence in his department, that it has a substantial budget, but no staff and no programs?
So far, so good.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the honourable member for bringing this matter to my attention. Mr. Speaker, my department has only recently completed a review of its entire operations, including the Dominion De-Rationing Agency. It would be easy for this government to take the easy way out and do the cheap political thing and simply abolish this antiquated agency entirely.
Oh, no.
But this government is made of sterner stuff. We will update, rename, expand, and increase the budget of the Dominion De-Rationing Agency to better reflect current realities.
One supplementary. Mr. Speaker, Given the overwhelming evidence to hand, how can the minister possibly deny the existence of this outdated, antiquated, obsolete, did you say, Mr. Speaker, this House, the people of Canada, Mr. Speaker.
Expand? He ignored my advice.
Well, look on the bright side. Cartier's still trying to figure out what hit him, and you get a bigger staff out of it.
More person years.
Right, it's great. This is every deputy minister's dream. Congratulations.
Thanks. Well, I guess you never know when a derationing agency just might come in handy.
Congratulations, more person years. You must be very proud.
Thanks. Thanks for your help.
Bah.
See ya.
Yeah.
The town was like a goldfish bowl. Everybody knew everybody else's racket. They took your dirty laundry, then they hung you out to dry.
Hey, I thought you were on the way home.
I was. I forgot something. He knew it had been too easy, smooth as silk. And then some tiny thing could bring the whole house of cards tumbling down. Some tiny thing like forgetting to move the in button to out. Deputy Banana could get too smart for his own good.